Paddy the Baddy Pimblett is one of the most polarizing names in MMA today.
Paddy the Baddy Pimblett!
All we hear is about Paddy the Baddy, Paddy the Baddy.
Not because he's tearing through top contenders or rewriting the record books, but because of the possibility that he might. He's one of those fighters who sparks debates before the fight even starts. Some fans call him the next big thing, others think he's all mouth and no medals. But either way, one thing is clear: Paddy has everyone talking. Born and raised in Liverpool, Paddy wasn't built in the classic fighter mold. He doesn't cut a terrifying figure. He's not stoic like Khabib or cold like John Jones. Instead, he's loud, cheeky, and completely unfiltered. He built a name in Cage Warriors, the same promotion where Conor McGregor once made his run, and became a champion there before the UFC came calling. From his debut, he caught attention. He gets hit, he bounces back. He swings wild but lands clean, and when the fight's done, he grabs the mic and gives fans something to clip and share.
We don't get knocked out.
Paddy understands something most fighters overlook. This is as much show business as it is combat sports. He's a character, and in the entertainment era of MMA, that matters more than ever. But here's the problem. Paddy hasn't faced a ranked opponent yet. His toughest test, Jared Gordon, the other way. So now there's a real split in opinion. Is Paddy being protected, or is the UFC just slow building a potential star? And that's where things get interesting, because beneath all the flash and headlines, you have to ask, what happens when the hype train hits a wall? Is Paddy ready for the Shark Tank at lightweight, or is he surfing momentum that won't last? Paddy's UFC run officially began in September 2021, when he left Liverpool's Echo Arena to make his Octagon debut against Luigi Vendramini. In true Paddy fashion, he didn't just win, he finished it in under 2 minutes with a devastating first-round guillotine choke. Cue the viral clips, the reaction memes, and the sold-out bars replaying Liverpool's favorite son celebrating in the cage. That emphatic start set the tone. His next outing, a March 2022 clash with Jared Gordon, landed Paddy squarely in controversy. After 5 rounds of back-and-forth striking, the judges handed Paddy a decision, one that many pundits and die-hard fans argued was razor-thin at best. Some cried foul play, others chalked it up to Paddy doing Paddy, leaning on his charisma to sway the crowd and the scorecards. Behind the scenes, coaches and teammates insist Paddy's work ethic is next level. He's known to train at dawn, drilling wrestling takedowns with Olympic hopefuls, and then heading straight to a media shoot in the afternoon. Yet critics point out his defensive lapses. He'll wade forward, swing for the fences, and leave himself open in the pocket. Can that aggressive style survive against technical strikers like Arman Tsarukyan or veterans like Bobby Green? Whether he's destined for championship gold or just another viral highlight reel, one thing is undeniable. Paddy Pimblett is playing for keeps, and the stakes have never been higher. Now that Paddy's UFC debut and early hurdles are behind him, the real test lies in who he meets next and how he handles the spotlight under immense pressure. As one of the most polarizing figures in the UFC today, the matchups ahead of him will either confirm his status as a future title contender or cement the idea that his journey is more about hype than substance. Here's a deeper dive into the pivotal matchups and storylines that could define the Baddy's future and ultimately his legacy. Why it matters. Dan Hooker is a fighter who has been in the trenches with the best of them. A veteran of the UFC lightweight division, Hooker's striking, especially his ability to control range, could cause real problems for Paddy, who is known to be a bit reckless at times with his aggression. Prediction: if Paddy is to survive a Hooker matchup, he'll have to be precise and disciplined, 2 things he's yet to prove at the highest level. Hooker, with his crisp jab and deep arsenal of kicks, would likely put Paddy in some uncomfortable spots. But if Paddy can close the distance and take Hooker to the mat, he might just steal a win. Why it matters. Arman Tsarukyan is an all-around talent with a specific focus on wrestling and grappling, a style that has traditionally been the kryptonite for strikers like Paddy. Tsarukyan's striking may not have the same flair as some of the top UFC stand-up fighters, but his control on the ground and his ability to stifle the offensive rhythm of opponents are what make him such a dangerous matchup. Prediction: Tsarukyan's relentless pressure and control on the ground would likely lead him to dominate a majority of the exchanges. Unless Paddy can capitalize on a mistake, perhaps with a slick submission or quick knockout, Tsarukyan's pace would be overwhelming. Why it matters. Bobby Green's unorthodox striking, high fight IQ, and slick defense make him a nightmare for younger fighters like Paddy, who rely on high-pressure, in-your-face fighting. Green's ability to flow with his opponent's rhythms and his footwork are unmatched in this division, and his unpredictability makes him one of the hardest fighters to prepare for. Prediction. Green isn't just another guy with a good chin, he's a fighter who reads his opponents like a book. If Paddy wants to win, he'll need to throw Green off his rhythm, which will be hard to do unless he can land something explosive early. If this turns into a striking match, Green has the edge in experience, accuracy, and volume. However, if Paddy can get him to the ground or survive long enough to wear him down with his own wild pressure, he could find a way to secure a win. Why it matters. Rafael Fiziev represents a stylistic nightmare for Paddy. His explosive Muay Thai and fight IQ are on another level compared to most in the division. Fiziev's ability to time powerful counterstrikes, especially with his lightning-fast hooks and kicks, makes him one of the most dangerous strikers in the division. Prediction. Fiziev's striking, accuracy, and variety would likely overwhelm Paddy. The real question is whether Paddy can turn this into a grappling match. Fiziev has shown a willingness to be controlled in the clinch, and Paddy could capitalize on that if he pressures Fiziev against the cage. Paddy Pimblett is undeniably one of the most talked about fighters in the UFC today, but with that comes a massive divide in opinion. Fighters, fans, and analysts all have strong, often contrasting views on him. Some see him as the future of the lightweight division, while others believe he's all flash and no substance. Let's unpack what's being said about the Baddy from every corner of the MMA world. Paddy's supporters are vocal, loyal, and dedicated. His charm, eccentric personality, and out-of-the-ring antics make him a favorite, especially among younger audiences craving genuine characters. The Baddy brings energy and unpredictability, turning every interview, every walkout, and every post-fight celebration into must-see TV. To these fans, Paddy isn't just a fighter, he's a symbol of passion and showmanship. Then there's the middle ground. Fans who appreciate Paddy's style and story but aren't ready to fully invest. They've seen the flair, they've heard the banter, but they want consistency and technical growth. Like watchers of any rising star, they're curious to see if he can back up the showmanship with steady wins against solid contenders. So, where does Paddy Pimblett go from here? His UFC journey has been filled with highlights, controversy, and plenty of questions about whether he can truly rise to the top of the lightweight division. While it's clear that the Baddy has all the ingredients to become a massive star, the real question is, can he make it to the next level? Paddy's last few outings have been exciting, but let's not sugarcoat it. He's yet to face the true cream of the crop. Fighters like Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, and even the surging Islam Makhachev are still a tier above him, at least in terms of experience and technical prowess. While Paddy is still young and has plenty of time to evolve, his next few fights could define his trajectory. The lightweight division is stacked with talent, and with each victory, Paddy inches closer to a title shot. But there's a long road ahead if the UFC matches him up with contenders like Dan Hooker, Rafael dos Anjos, or even a rematch with Jared Gordon. We'll get to see if his unorthodox style can truly hold up against top-tier opposition. These next bouts will test him in ways his previous matchups haven't, and that's when we'll know if he's ready to make the leap. A lot of fans and analysts believe Paddy still has a lot to prove before he's ready for a title shot. His striking is wild but effective at times, and his grappling is still a work in progress. There's no denying that he has a unique skill set, but does he have the consistency to hang with the very best in the division? Only time will tell. Paddy Pimblett is still in the early stages of his career, and it's too soon to say whether he'll be remembered as a future champion or just another what could have been story. His journey in the UFC could go a number of ways. He could rise to the top, securing a title and establishing himself as one of the best to ever do it. Or he could plateau, struggling to evolve past his current skill set and fade out of the spotlight. As we wrap up this deep dive into Paddy Pimblett's UFC career so far, it's clear that the story of the Baddy is far from over. We've only seen the tip of the iceberg, and there are many more chapters to be written. Whether he becomes a future UFC champion or not, there's no doubt that his journey will continue to captivate the MMA world for years to come. Now, as always, we want to hear from you. What do you think of Paddy's chances in the UFC? Do you think he has what it takes to be a title contender, or will the hype train eventually run out of steam? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. This won't be the last time we dive into the career of Paddy Pimblett, or any other fighter for that matter. We've got more content coming your way, so stick around for the latest updates on your favorite UFC stars. Also, check the comments for details on how to win an official UFC T-shirt in our giveaway. To enter, simply answer the quiz questions from this video and our previous one. Make sure you're subscribed and part of the action. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more UFC content coming your way.